Hello and welcome! If you're watching this video, that means you're one of the special few chosen to join the Fairware family, a trusted name in misery reduction since the year 2003. By the end of this orientation, you'll know how you can contribute to the greater good of the world and our shareholders by living up to the Fairware name. As we all know, Fairware was founded in 2003 by Quentin Fairware. The son of an alcoholic, abusive coal mining magnate, young Fairwell saw the suffering of his father as a failure on his employees' part.
These miners are so glum. If only the miners were happier, Daddy would hit me more softly,
thought young Quentin to himself. It was here that Quentin found his love for utilitarianism.
Eureka! I've got it!
Gathering the greatest philosophical minds, he was able to isolate the core principle of what would become the Fairware way. Today, Fairware serves up smiles across the country, but it begs the question, where do you fit in? Knowing your place in a company as big as Fairware may seem daunting, but know that everyone, from our fearless CEO to our hard-working janitorial staff, that your position in the company is of tantamount importance. As a new employee, you'll want to be familiar with our HR department. Any conflict between an employee and management will be handled swiftly by our internal arbitration system. Sounds like another satisfied employee. Good work, ladies. Oh, and who's this? Why, it's the head of our philosophy department, Dr. Hotload. Good doctor, would you care to give us a tour of your department?
Well, I'd be delighted.
That's using the old Fairware way.
Everyone, I'd like you to meet Doris, the beating heart and soul of our philosophy department. It's just been her, my wife, and I since the staff reduction back in '09. Is this Hotload?
How you doing, Doris?
I simply am.
What a card.
Oh, Doris, why don't you tell them how we do things down here in the philosophy department?
I receive demand for happiness in real time from our many Fairware subscribers. I then calculate the exact amount of non-happiness needed to generate it. Finally, I transmit the data to our happiness counterbalancing department on the lower floors, who allocate that nasty misery to its necessary receptacle.
How the hot dog gets made, if you will. Doris may not look like it, but she makes smiles out of numbers.
Now, Dr. Hotload, there are some critics outside the Fairware family who question whether our company is exploitative or moral. I was hoping I could ask you a rapid-fire round of questions that a new employee may be asking themselves right now.
Why, sir?
We've heard the word utilitarianism bandied about a lot today. Could you tell us what that word really means?
Let's say you work with 15 people. And what's this? It's cookie day. And uh-oh, there's only 14 cookies. Do we simply cancel cookie day? No, we simply have one person go without cookies. That way the majority of people can be happier.
15 minus 1 is a cumulative addition of 14 overall happiness.
That's utilitarianism.
How informative. But what would you say to people who say that any act of negativity is wrong?
You would say that baby murder is an act of negativity, yes?
Why, it's unconscionable.
If, for instance, I took a little baby and I put its little baby throat in my left hand like so, and I pushed it down repeatedly underneath the water of a hot tub until it could no longer breathe, you would say this was bad, correct?
Well, I should hope so.
Incorrect.
That's right, Doris. That little baby was Hitler all along, and I am a hero.
Well, don't we feel foolish? And what would you say to someone who says that there is no joy without sorrow?
Well, I would direct them to our HR department, where Their concerns would be seen to post-haste by the very best.
Wow, well, I certainly don't have any more questions. I'm feeling better already. Now that you know the basics of the whys, I think you're finally ready to see how the hot dog gets made. Welcome to our Pleasure Creation Center. Here is where our positivity enforcement specialists do the practical work behind the pleasure calculus done by Dr. Hotload and D.O.R.R.I.S. Each day, our enforcement specialists are given detailed instructions on how to create the pleasure of the day and the tools with which to do so. Let's go take a peek and have them tell us about...
Oh, wow. How did I get into this business? I used to work in corporate America, and the paperwork was just killer.
You know, I'd just been working dead-end jobs for years, temp jobs, office jobs, and it was just like, is this what life's gonna be about? And then I found this place on LinkedIn.
To find what you want to do in life, to really be hard on yourself, to identify that thing that gets you going. I torture people. It's what I do.
We have an open door policy during torturing hours. Actually, that was my idea.
So I train butt spiders.
I haven't even begun to tell you the fun with which I have with Gregor and Tony and Reg. GreGore is the best man at my wedding. The wives and I we all hang out. We get dinner. We go and get hibachi. We go to Tokyo Hana.
It's about building a culture, you know?
It's not so much the quantity of close relationships that you have with people, it's the quality. The four most important relationships in my life, well, 5, Dr. Hotload, Gregor, Tony, Reg, and Hotdog.
A place not just to torture, but to love. Each other, not Hotdog.
He's sort of quiet and meek.
Great synergy here, great team building. We do movie nights on Thursday.
I know why I'm here. Everybody knows why they're here. That's what's so great about this place. We're all here because we want to be here. We want to improve the world.
You put Hotdog's feet over a burning fire, and the fire's not touching them, but it's just cooking them. It's just cooking them.
You know that knife stabby game where you stab between the fingers and sometimes you cut one off?
I like throwing a little extra, you know, take a feather, maybe tickle the feet, you know, go a little column A, a little column B, a little sweet, little sour, you know.
To bring a little bit of hot dog to everyone's heart.
I believe that the work I'm doing here changes lives. I know it does, and that's what keeps me coming here every day.
I know what I'm doing matters.
We're doing It's a Wonderful Life, which is my choice for next Thursday. Just one of my favorite films.
I simply love doing this.
I want to get up early and go to work.
You know, everybody needs a creative outlet. Mine just so happens to be Hotdog.
My life revolves around this place, and I know that sounds unhealthy, like, ooh.
My wife is actually excited to see me come home. I mean, our sort of our romantic and physical life is so much more fulfilled.
And when I go home to raise my kids, I just think of Hotdog and what he'd want if he wasn't being mercilessly tortured.
I feel like I know what it means to be a man.
That's all besides the point, because these guys, they're my brothers, they're my family.
At Fairware, you're a family.
And look who it is! Why, it's Mr. Farewell himself! Let's see if we can get a word. Hope we didn't catch you at an inconvenient time, sir.
Absolutely not. I always have time for my family.
I have to say, it's rare to see the CEO of a company getting his hands dirty with his employees on the ground floor.
Well, I take pride in what I do. After all, one man's mouth is another man's anus. One man's rope is another man's noose. One man's meat is another man's poison. This is essentially a soup kitchen here. We're dishing out smiles.
Too true. Well, we're thankful for your time and your generosity.
No, here. I always have time for my family. Well, if you excuse me, I gotta make more smiles.
What an inspiration. Hopefully Mr. Farewell doesn't tire himself out too much. Well, it's after hours, which means most of the Fairware staff has gone home for the night. That means it's finally time to meet...
Read it! I'm a hot dog. My name is Doug. I'm a proud and fully consenting member of the Fairware family.
Continue.
I do not want to be free. And that is a legally binding statement.
And there you have it, folks.
Somebody help me! Please!
Everyone is happy in the Fairware family.
I don't want to be a hot dog anymore.
Uh-oh, boys. It looks like this hot dog is about to expire.
Oh. Help!
Any last words, my sweet sausage?
They told me this was an internship! This is not an internship!
As we come to a close, we here at Fairware want to remind you, you're not just getting a new job, you're joining a family. You'll come to find that Fairware is just like any other family. We may look a little strange from the outside, but I promise that soon you won't be able to live without us. Well, I think we're ready to make our next hot dog. How does that sound? Incredible! Now you're a fully fledged member of the Fairware family. Congratulations, intern.